Today is the 11-year anniversary of the time I got shot in a drive-by shooting, so I'm going to share that story with you guys today. Just a forewarning, I am going to do the story in two parts because it is a lot of detail and I don't want to miss anything, so let's get started. Back in 2015, I was 20 years old and I was working at a hotel in Fort Collins, Colorado, and on this particular day, it was actually my day off, but I was scheduled to work because one of the girls that I worked with, she called out of all of her shifts that week, and so I had to go in. So I wasn't even supposed to be there. Get through my shift and I clock out at 11 and I'm in my car and headed home by 11:10. I'm driving down the road and eventually I'm the only car on this road until I happen to look in my rearview mirror and notice that there's a car coming up very fast behind me, but it was odd because they did not have their headlights on, and the only reason I saw them is because they happened to be passing underneath the street light. As we're getting closer to the exit, I notice that the car pulls very sharply left and they drive up to my driver's side. My window shatters, they continue to drive straight, and I get off onto the exit to merge onto the highway. At this point, my neck is hurting, but I call 911 and I tell them what happened, and they tell me to pull over because at this point I'm still actively driving and they need to be able to track my location, but they can't if I keep moving. So I pull over on the side of the road and I talk to the 911 dispatch. I give them the story of what happens, and the dispatch tells me that there's a police officer and a fire truck that's on the opposite side of the road and I should be seeing them shortly. I see them, I hang up with dispatch, and then I wait for the officer to pull up. As soon as the officer gets there and he gets out of his car and walks up to my car, I hear him get on his radio and say that everybody who doesn't need to be there needs to leave because this is an active crime scene. And at the time, I thought that that was kind of dramatic because I thought it was a hit and run. However, it's because when he walked up to my vehicle, there was a bullet that was lodged in the door frame of my car. I didn't know that at the time, but then he started asking me questions, so I start recounting my night to him. And as time is going on, my neck is hurting worse and worse. The paramedics come, they get in the back driver's side of my car and they're applying pressure to my neck. And at the same time, there are officers that on the passenger side of my car opening my doors and looking through everything. And I hear one of them say that they found a bullet casing in my passenger side door, but I'm still talking to the officer, so I'm not really registering what's going on. And at this point, this is the first time that I'm getting any kind of inkling that I was involved in a shooting. So after I'm done talking to the officer and I give him all the information he needs, the paramedics load me into the ambulance and they take me to the hospital. It was literally only like a 5-minute drive because that is how far that I drove before I pulled over after having been shot in the neck. We get to the hospital, and when I'm unloaded, the hallways are lined with nurses, doctors, police officers, and detectives, and I get wheeled into an OR right away. This was easily the most chaotic part of this whole event because I literally have everybody and their mom talking at me at one time. I'm trying to answer everybody's questions, and at the same time, the reality of what is happening is finally setting in, and I just break down crying because I don't know what's going to happen to me from there. Because at this point, the pain is so unbearable, like an 100 out of 10, and they aren't able to give me any pain medication because I basically have to be taken back to surgery right away. This is the end of part 1. Part 2 is already up and posted on my page, so go check it out for the rest of the story.